up buying a bunch of spare parts on Craigslist. I think it's like a 1986 PJ special bass. In fact, it's got this very unique, almost a copper looking metallic finish. It's got some issues with it. As you can see, it took some damage, and I'm going to try to fix that. Of course, I'll try to buff out a lot of the scratches. And it didn't come with a neck. I went on to Craigslist and purchased a jazz bass neck here. My guess is the truss rod's probably going to need some adjustment. And I've noticed whoever had this last switched out the stock tuners, because I can see the holes for some different tuners, and they didn't even bother to drill out or retap new holes, so the screws aren't even sunk all the way. I flowed a little bit of glue inside this cavity, and I took a dowel, I don't know, maybe a 1-inch dowel, and centered it right over that hole right there, and then just gave it a few good thwaps after flowing glue over both sides, and that kind of pushed it back into place. And of course I'm using these little clamps here to clamp it back together, and I'm using board over the front to keep pressure on that spot. The next thing I'm working on is I'm going to pull these tuning machines off. I have discovered after removing these tuning machines that this thing is a pin cushion. I don't know how this happened or what happened, but that's fine. I think what I'm going to do is take some maple scrap that I have in the backyard and shave little toothpicks out of it, sand them down, and I'm going to shove them into all these holes and unglue them in place so that I can clean this up, and then I'm going to re-glue. Hopefully I can screw those machines back in. The screws are in pretty rough shape, but I'll try to make it work. Okay, so I got everything pretty much put back together. I cleaned up and wiped down the pickup covers. And the next step, I'm just going to go ahead and polish the guitar. It's already pretty clean, but I think I can get it a lot cleaner. I put back the pots. You can see here where this damage is still left into the finish. There's really not much I can do about it, but it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I can't get it to move at all, so the glue definitely did its job. Let me pan over to the neck. I managed to get it put back together pretty easily. If you can see here, I managed to get the screws working, and it looks pretty good. Everything's put back together. I just need to throw the knobs on, and I'm going to put the strings on next. I'm going to hit the board one more time with some lemon oil just to kind of grease it up and get it nice and good. So I had these knob caps left over from a stomp box project. Not really my first pick for something like this. They'll work. Probably not well. One of the things I forgot to mention when I was putting those strings on, most of you guys probably already know this, so it's not really worth repeating, but I put a lot of wraps around each of those posts. And I learned that early on as a guitar player because it actually helps the string from snapping. It gives it a little more room to grab. I learned that from Guitar Tech a long time ago. And as soon as I did that, my string stopped snapping. So they told me you usually want to get a minimum of 2 to 3 wraps. So there you go. I got it pretty shiny and put back together. As I walk around, you can see that it's definitely been cleaned up. Even though this is not the original neck, it attached pretty nicely. It took me a few minutes to find a truss rod spot that worked, because there's definitely a couple of notes that wanted to buzz. And then I had to reset the saddle height and the intonation and all that, but it works good. Let's plug it in and listen to it. Couple things that you need to know. This is just a SM57 on an acoustic bass cab. It's nothing fancy. I'm using a 1073 with no EQ at all. We're just going straight to Pro Tools with all this. So you're a bass player, what do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. This is a flat wound bass, so it's definitely got a different feel. It's really nice on slides. It's great for jazz and like funk. I love the flat wounds for that.
You know, and that's actually the thing that I was really happy to find this particular bass, because you actually get the best of both worlds. The bridge pickup is really thin and funky, not much low end at all, but then on the other hand, you have the neck pickup, super fat, and even the in-between position where it's both of them, it's still a very thick sounding bass. It really does cover a lot of territory in terms of tone. At any rate, there you go. It's another DBU project. We got a lot more coming, so keep logging in, subscribe, pay attention. Thank you. Cheers.